Today I would like to invite you to listen to the Dhammapada of the Buddha Shakyamuni, the 73rd verse from the Buddhist scriptures on the YouTube channel TN Thai in the USA. The fool will desire undue reputation, precedence among monks, authority in the monasteries, honor among other families. Dear friends, the Buddha's teaching shines again like the morning sun that awakens sleeping hearts. This verse is not a judgment. It is a mirror. It helps us see clearly the hidden shadows within ourselves. The Buddha understood that even within the robe of a monk or the robe of a lay practitioner, pride and ambition can still grow if the heart is not pure. The fool, the Buddha says, desires reputation. He wishes to stand above others. He longs for the praise of the world. Disciplined, but his heart was filled with jealousy. He could not bear to see others praised. When another monk received offerings, Ujjana became bitter. When another monk was respected, he felt ignored. He desired reputation. He wanted authority. He wanted honor in the eyes of families and friends. But these desires darkened his practice. They burned his peace like fire burning dry grass. The Buddha spoke this verse to show that the root of such suffering is attachment to self. When the eye is strong, it wants to shine. It wants to be admired. It wants to be seen as pure, wise, and superior. The fool does not know that this very wish hides the path of liberation. It builds another wall of illusion. It keeps the heart far from freedom. Dear listeners, the Buddha's path is the path of humility. It is the way of lowering oneself, not because one is small, but because truth is vast. The fool desires to be the first among monks. The wise desires to serve the last among beings. The fool desires authority in monasteries. The wise desires harmony in community. The fool desires honor from families. The wise desires that all families find peace. The difference lies in intention. One seeks to rise above. The other seeks to lift all beings together. The fool's heart is restless. He looks outward. He wonders who bows to him, who listens to him, who praises him. He measures respect as if it were wealth. He forgets that true respect is not demanded but earned through compassion. The wise heart looks inward. It asks, am I humble today? Am I kind? Am I mindful? The wise heart knows that the greatest authority is mastery over one's own mind. The Buddha's verse is timeless. Even today, in monasteries and temples, in communities and homes, the same patterns appear. Some seek recognition for their service. Some wish to be known as the most devoted, the most knowledgeable, the most spiritual. But all such seeking is the same thread of ego. It may wear a robe of devotion, but inside it is still craving. The fool does not see this. He calls it aspiration. He calls it zeal. But the wise knows that desire, even for good things, becomes a chain when it is rooted in I. The Buddha once said, he who wishes to rule is ruled by his wish. To desire authority is already to lose freedom. To desire honor is already to invite suffering. Because what we seek from others depends on their opinion. And opinions change like the wind. When we are praised, we smile. When we are blamed, we weep. The fool rides the waves of fame and falls with every change of tide. But the wise stands firm like a mountain. He neither rejoices in praise nor trembles in blame. His joy is in the Dharma alone. The story of Ujjana is the story of the mind that cannot rejoice in others' success. When he saw another monk respected, his heart grew hot. He whispered criticisms. He tried to lower others so he could rise. But the Buddha saw into his mind and spoke gently. Ujjana, to desire reputation is to lose the Dharma. To seek honor is to lose peace. The one who truly serves the Dharma serves in silence. The Buddha's words touched him like cool rain. For a moment he felt shame, but later he understood. He bowed and practiced humility. Slowly his heart softened. We too can learn from Ujjana. Whenever we feel jealous or unappreciated, we can look within and see the same fire. We can remind ourselves that the purpose of practice is not to be admired, but to awaken. Whether others see us or not, whether they praise us or forget us, the light of truth does not fade. The Dharma does not depend on attention. It depends on sincerity. The fool desires precedence. He wants to walk first in line. He wants to be called leader, teacher, abbot, or master. But the Buddha said, better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace. Leadership in name is nothing. Leadership in heart is everything. A true monk leads by example. A true practitioner teaches through presence. When compassion flows through one's conduct, authority arises naturally. One need not seek it. Authority without virtue is a storm without rain. It makes noise but brings no nourishment. The fool seeks to command others. The wise seeks to command himself. 1,000 men in battle. The one who conquers himself is the greatest victor. Let us reflect on this deeply. The fool's desire for honor is really a cry for validation. It is the insecurity of the fragrance of virtue, not from the applause of the world. Think of a flower. It does not announce its scent. It simply blooms. The wind carries its fragrance in all directions. Likewise, the true practitioner does not seek fame or recognition. His presence naturally blesses others. His humility becomes his crown. His silence becomes his speech. His compassion becomes his authority. Dear friends, this verse is a gentle reminder to all of us who walk the spiritual path. The closer we are to truth, the more temptation arises to feel special. The ego wears subtle disguises. It may say, "I am not proud. I only wish to guide others." But if we look deeply, we may still find the shadow of I. Therefore, we must guard the mind carefully. The Buddha said, "There is no fire like passion, no grip like hatred, no net like delusion, no river like craving." To desire reputation is to step again into that river. The fool's ruin begins when he forgets humility. The wise serves in silence. The fool counts the bow he receives. The wise bows to all beings without counting. Let us learn to bow. To bow is to dissolve the self. When the head touches the ground, pride melts like ice under the sun. The heart becomes light. In that moment, the Buddha is present. Every bow is a teaching. Every bow is freedom. The fool will desire undue reputation, precedence among monks, authority in monasteries, honor among other families. But the wise will desire none of these. He will seek only the end of suffering. That is the difference between bondage. Recognition, but for compassion. When we live this way, the Buddha's smile shines in us, and the world receives peace from our silence. The fool will desire undue reputation, precedence among monks, authority in the monasteries, honor among other families. Dear listeners, when the Buddha spoke this verse, his voice was filled with compassion. He saw that the seeds of pride can grow even in the heart that wears the robe. The robe itself does not make a saint. The color of cloth cannot wash away the stain of ego. Only mindfulness and humility can cleanse the heart. In every generation of practice, this truth remains the same. Whether one is a monk or a layperson, the danger of desiring reputation always follows. It begins small, a wish to be recognized, a desire to be seen as virtuous, a hope to be praised for generosity or knowledge. These seem harmless, but if left unchecked, they grow into the craving that leads to suffering. The Buddha saw this clearly. He said that such desire is like a vine. At first, it grows tender and thin, but soon it wraps around the tree and chokes it. The fool does not see the vine of reputation until it has already taken his breath, but the wise sees it from the beginning and gently cuts it with mindfulness. The fool seeks precedence among monks. He wishes to sit in the highest seat, to lead the chanting, to speak before others. He feels insulted when he is placed behind or forgotten in the assembly. But the Buddha said, "The one who sits behind with humility, though unknown, surpasses the one who sits before with pride." To be humble is to be near the Buddha. To be proud is to be far from him, even while wearing his robe. Authority in monasteries is not wrong when it is guided by compassion. Leadership is needed to maintain harmony. But the fool seeks authority for himself, to command, to control, to receive offerings, to be called teacher or abbot. He forgets that the true abbot of every monastery is the Dharma itself. The monastery belongs not to any person but to the Sangha, to the refuge of those who practice together. When authority is used with love, it becomes service. When it is used for self, it becomes poison. Honor among other families. This is the subtle trap. The fool visits homes to receive offerings and feels proud when respected. He enjoys praise and expects gifts. But when others forget him, he becomes hurt. His practice turns into business. His robe becomes a trade. The Buddha saw this and said, "He who seeks honor is already dishonored." Within, the wise one walks silently from house to house, bringing the fragrance of peace. Whether he is welcomed or ignored, his heart remains even. He gives, expecting nothing in return. The story of Ajahn continues as a mirror for us. After the Buddha's gentle admonition, Ajahn reflected on his jealousy. He saw how his desire for honor had clouded his meditation. Every time he sat, thoughts of others arose. Who was respected? Who was offered robes? Who was praised? His mind could not be still. Slowly he realized that he had built a prison of comparison. He saw that freedom does not come from being better than others, but from being free of the need to compare at all. One night, as he sat under a tree, Ajahn wept silently. He said, he cleaned the monastery without being asked. He gave his seat to others. He shared his food. He spoke less. Slowly his heart softened. The same monks who once avoided him began to love him. Honor returned, but now he did not cling to it. It was no longer honor for him. It was respect for his humility. The Buddha smiled when he saw this transformation. He said, when the fire of it follows naturally. The wise never seek reputation, they seek virtue. And virtue brings respect, not through effort, but through presence. Dear friends, in the modern world, the same truth applies. Even among lay followers, the desire for recognition exists. We may want to be seen as generous donors, devoted volunteers, or learned practitioners. But the Buddha reminds us, every act loses its purity the moment we crave recognition for it. To give without attachment, to serve without pride, to speak without self. This is the true spirit of the Dharma. The fool wants to be known as good. The wise simply does good. The fool proclaims his practice. The wise practices in silence. The fool counts his merits. The wise forgets them as soon as they are done. The fool shines outward for the world to see. The wise shines inward, and the world feels peace in his presence. Let us pause and ask ourselves gently, do we seek reputation or liberation? Do we want to be respected, or do we want to be free? The Buddha's path is not a path of admiration, but of awakening. Every bow we make, every precept we keep, every word we speak, should be for the ending of suffering, not for the gathering of fame. The verse says the fool desires undue reputation. Reputation is undue when it is unearned. It is undeserved when it comes without inner virtue. True reputation comes. The fool builds his peace on sand. The wise builds it on truth. The fool fears losing name and honor. The wise fears losing mindfulness. The fool depends on others' eyes. The wise depends on his own. He saw that the fool's desire comes from the same place as everyone's, the longing to be loved, to be seen, to matter. But the Buddha teaches us that the only true fulfillment comes from realizing the emptiness of self. When we see that there is no I to be praised or blamed, peace appears like dawn after night. The fool desires precedence among monks. The wise bows before all beings. The wise person's path is light. When we walk with humility, we become a lamp for others. We need not speak much. Our conduct becomes the sermon. The Buddha once said, as the full moon shines by its own light, so the noble one shines quietly through his virtue. Let us strive to be like that moon, calm, gentle, and bright, reflecting the light of truth upon all beings. When pride arises, remember impermanence. When jealousy arises, remember compassion. When the desire for recognition arises, remember emptiness. In that remembrance lies liberation. The fool's craving fades, and the heart becomes vast like the sky. To desire undue reputation is to lose the treasure of contentment. To seek authority is to lose the sweetness of surrender. To hunger for honor is to lose the peace of simplicity. But to let go of all these is to discover the joy of the Buddha's heart, a joy that cannot be taken away. The wise know that every title fades, every position ends, every name is forgotten. Only the light of compassion endures. When we serve others selflessly, that light shines through us. The Buddha's teaching is simple. Do good, speak truth, purify the mind. All else, fame, honor, authority, are but passing clouds. So let us walk humbly. Let us serve quietly. Let us study deeply. Let us bow often. When the heart is humble, it becomes the dwelling heart. The true authority is compassion. The true honor is humility. The fool may seek to be known. The wise seeks only to awaken. And when we live with this understanding, peace arises. It flows from our thoughts, through our words, into our actions. It touches all who come near. This is the fragrance of awakening. This is the joy of the Buddha's path. Thank you for watching I really appreciate your time.